Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.
I'm the Prof. Casaviana.
From Adjo.
One of the best things that what happened to your Monday class here. The addition of professor.
Oh, yes.
Or inject a more objective analysis.
Utemo kaka.
Yes.
Because Ujan oh now no show.
Actually, the great professor concurs with many of the viewpoints I'm.
Yeah, but differently, man.
Maybe I don't know, Mesa ultimate toning it down as you know. A nation cannot develop without education.
Yeah.
And when the Progressive People's Party, your education policy, the title of your education policy, No Child Left Behind. I'll look at a comprehensive from KG to SHS uninterrupted education. This JHS exams are abolished. Now, children are more from where the 13, 14. You can imagine that grandpapa and your good day we now got on social. Now, as a 12, 13, 14-year-old, whole life you're over. In 2 months, triado and call SHS. Now, or contribute to streetism, street children. Eka streetism, so now a beka chrono na ze okodo mofama awarded that lorry stations ze. Grandpapa, auntie, you can imagine there. Even though policy-wise, what for an aspect of the education, free SHS. I offer free SHS, if the number of enrollment of a from my local school, no grandpapa no share there. Your education system not be being quiet because many of the street children were back to school. What about the opportunity in education? Now we're to work when I believe the first year I call about over 80,000. No move to 200 and something thousand. And the grandpapa said, "If enrollments from the first year I was implementing."
Yeah, we had over 446,000
from the first year.
The second year.
Yes.
I see.
And the grandpapa, if she had that number now, that means all those children were on the streets. So.
Assumedly.
Grandpapa, I pray that policy-wise, a bit do honoma. There's no interruption or evaluate you at the JHS level. In there, it's KG or minimum stop SHS after SHS, not JHS. But honorable say a politician, around SHS from every those times. What's the AVA school? If it's an AVA school, what's the JHS? A JHS certificate, which means the copy Jumana. And we are happy that Moframba in hundreds of thousands are moving into the education sector.
Yeah.
And grandpapa on that score, no, they be a bubble and impa or bado. Grandpapa, most of the implementers no so at war home. One they are implementing a policy of government. And implementing the policy of government, now I should have 1 year and another 1 year. Minya Wabaka say, or you'll be at Minim no Kakra. Now, if she may say all the knack for facts are all my numbers from his top of his head, which means there, as in our Western or you're fully engulfed or Tase, Manyama, or Okoso, into also Mabonabado or Homo, Ejuma, warrior.
Thank you.
But grandpapa, the baby a prophet touching for them to expand kaka. Yaka infrastructure, na yaka brick mortar and those things na. Or yeah, just a small aspect of the education. Because what's the purpose of education? It's to train the minds of the young girls and women against tomorrow.
Train their minds.
Grandpa, me text bill from Archbishop Porter was a war lebu. Now, people in the community are threatening the girls. Now, there was a near rape attempt. Now, they were on. Into Opowacho, you guys should look at that for them and come to their rescue. Grandpapa, they hard training the minds of the children. There's a direct correlation to the teachers and the quality of teachers that are going to the school. Grandpapa, the design of the schools, so I think as educationists, we need to look at it. Grandpapa, now what 6 classroom block be room. Now another place, 3 classroom block be JHS also room. Now baby so or you scattered the chocolate chip approach. Grandpapa, I think we need to look at the designer. The schools go from KG to SHS. Straight. So when a child enters a KG, he sees the SHS students. And psychologically, mentally, on him there, automatically, nobody do. And then when you do from the KG to SHS, Grandpapa, you bring development. Because then Kania will have to come to the place. Water will have to come to the place. Road systems will have to come to the place. Proper dining halls will have to be built. Proper sporting facilities are built. Proper IT infrastructure are built. Because Grandpapa, it becomes the pull factor for development in certain areas. But say, this chocolate chip approach there, 6 classroom, Bishop Bushwa, JHS, 3 classroom. Now, you know, Major Millennium Development Authority, you could see JHS be one of the villages. And KGs. Prof, can you imagine the eating area that was part of the architecture of the open place for the children to have a place to eat? The chief in the town, the name Wakugu, are now onion in one wall. That is because some isolated 3-room be in the bush. And it's not properly supervised because the supervisory aspect of the education service is also a major factor that the people are unable to even go around to do proper supervision in their catchment area. Because why a chocolate chip approach spread around the nation into, if you are able to put it together from KG to SHS, Prof, can you imagine the supervision, the impact, the catchment area? Those things are what transforms the children. Because say Bush, teacher over Tuesday, with your Thursday. Because my colleagues now only won't call the same classroom or what's not the same classroom. He believes that they are in better places teaching.
I see.
And also the family and member will be for free. On for number and school. Until over Tuesday, Thursday or that is why a chief can go and put his goats and sheep in one of the rooms because there's no supervision. So I pray that the softer side of the education policy
should be looked at.
Look at it critically, Grandpapa, because and then how we model the schools. Grandpapa, the modeling of the schools, it was a 6 classroom will baby now, 3 classroom will baby, Grandpapa is the worst education model I've ever seen. And it's not this government or that. It's not an attack. It's an attack there in the revamping of our system.
It's a comment at looking at how
and
what
it does is that you give the younger ones hope. You build their psychological outlook in their life in the future. There, I belong here. I will finish. I will do this. And then as opposed to what is existing.
Let me ask the minister one question.
The Ministry of Education was bad though in relation to giving local printers the opportunity to participate fully. Grandpapa, on the day I remember her, maybe we should use the state purchasing power to support our local economy. Make there all state functions. They should use made in Ghana food, Ghanaian food, produced by our Ghanaian farmers and the rest, because you help the local economy, you keep the money here. Grandpapa, Ministry of Education has started in this area, or they all reflect in all ministries. Grandpapa, you see, when a professor was talking about the quality that is needed, these things are built over time. and by giving opportunity. When you give the opportunity and you monitor and you give strict guidance, these people will be improved over the period of time. But what is critical is the opportunity. Grandpapa, I hope this thing is also done at the providing of meals for the children. That all the inputs should be also 100% Ghanaian input for the provision of meals for our children. Grandpapa, it is critical because the physical development of the child, the nutritional level of the child, also it goes into their concentration levels and their ability to absorb. Grandpapa, after the classroom, there's a comment now. And some people being a teacher, it's difficult for the person to grasp. And in as much as we are doing this stuff and we agree, Grandpapa, the school feeding programs should be mandatory, made mandatory for the inputs also to be 100% Ghanaian. Okay. Grandpapa, in addition to that, right now, there are a lot of complaints about the porridge. Now I hear they are interjecting some rice here and there in the feeding of the children in the school. Grandpapa, the government is not perfect. Situations are always not perfect. There are challenges that come. When the challenges come, Grandpapa, we rise to the occasion and we resolve it. I believe they are resolving it. I have children there, and we are listening to the improvements that are happening. Grandpapa, we pay the yes one crying. The one kodo, 1 year the margin. Now you make it because young man or young man.
Welcome 5 minutes, my informer minister. Young man, young man.
Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.